roundtable in times of lockdown? Well, as we all know, we're all locked here in our homes, and we also work, some of us are also working from home. So what is it like? How does that work out for us? Joining me on roundtable today is a panel of women professionals. I'm going to ask them how their work and home life is really merging, what are the problems they are facing, and also what do they think is going to be the new normal once things open up. Joining me is Namita Kohli. She is an interior designer, founder at Bisma Atria Interiors. I have Aradhana Lal. She is the Vice President, Brand Communication and Sustainability Initiatives at the Lemon Tree Hotels. Varsha Hoon, she is the proprietor of Connections, travel agency Connections Inc. Anjul Bhandari, she is a designer. She does a lot of, in fact, work on chicken curry and Kamdani work, but she makes some very good outfits. And of course, there is Anshu Bahanda. She is a health blogger and she has her own Instagram site, Wellness Curated One. So, Aradhana, how is, hospitality trade is something that's really one sector that's been hit hard. There's, no denying that, working from home is all very well, but if people are not coming to your home, to your hotels, how do you work it out?
Well, our situation right now is really surreal. We have a total of 80 hotels in India, and out of these, 47 are closed for the last 3 weeks. But the remaining 33 are operating. Some of them are serving people who are on quarantine or on self-quarantine. Some are serving the doctors and the healthcare workers, and the others are basically serving people who got stuck in transit. So some of our hotels have occupancy of 60-70% actually, because there are large groups there. The others have maybe 25% or something. So it's a very difficult time. If there's no flights, if there's no travel, nobody wants to go out, restaurants are closed. Naturally, the travel and hospitality industry is getting a bit of a beating right now. And the coming months also don't look too positive. It's going to be a bit of a rough ride.
For you guys, yeah. Varsha, speaking of travel, you started your own travel agency straight from college. So how do you feel in today's days? What are the bookings looking like?
I've never seen it so bad. I am canceling more tickets than I'm issuing. And now the airlines are refusing to give refunds. They're just giving you date change options, which is becoming very difficult. And I don't see this coming out for a very long time. People will probably do road trips. But travel abroad, it will pick up eventually, but not for some time. I would say at least 6 to 8 months.
So you got an enforced holiday on you. Anjul, coming to you, your trade, as I mentioned earlier, you employ a lot of women who are working in the rural sector. So are you reaching out to them? Are you exchanging designs virtually on the net? How is it working out for you?
It's a very difficult situation for us because, as you rightly said, that we've got all women working from only the rural areas. So with the accessibility of net and all these things is very rare. By the grace of God, we do have WhatsApps, and obviously internet is available in all villages now, which makes life much easier. But then at the end of the day, they have to come out for picking up the pieces, get them to embroider. Most of our work normally was always done work from home always, but then they could always come, travel, pick up the stuff from Lucknow, from our main centers, and take it back to their villages and their homes and could work on that. Whatever they have, they're working on, they're sending us images on the WhatsApp. But what happens once the dhaga gets over, they can't travel out because the buses are not flying? What do they do then? They're stuck. Sure. And if I can't get back to Lucknow and I can't create something which they can work on, it's a deadlock. So we are actually sitting put. We are trying to support them with whatever we can. We are sending them money. We are sending them work. We are trying our level best, but it will be a point where there will be a deadlock. So the sooner we come out of it, the better it is for everybody, as we can all see it this way.
I anticipated my last question. Namita, how is it working for you? You're doing interiors. A little bit first about what you do and how are you handling under lockdown?
We have a manufacturing unit in Delhi, and I have carpenters, polishers, upholsters, everybody who works out of that unit. And unfortunately, unlike what you're able to do with the fabrics, and you're able to send it across to to the workers working in the villages, I have to have the people come into the factory and to be present at the factory to be able to work at their workstations. We have paint booths where the polishing needs to be done. So it's very difficult for us to actually do any work. The factory is completely closed. We're at a standstill right now. We don't see any silver lining coming unless, of course, they do allow the non-essential factories again to open up that out, within the Delhi kind of parameter. and we are allowed to keep the people staying in the factory, I may be able to get some of the guys back into the factory, keep them living on the premises and get them to work. But that is the only thing that I see is going to be possible. I don't see it working any other way.
Anshu, your case, I brought you in because your case story is slightly different, because under lockdown, you're a health wellness blogger, and I think this is a time where we really need tips from people like you from your blog. So do you find business has actually picked up during lockdown?
So for me, it's interesting because it's sort of the past 20 years of cumulative information that I've had, with therapists, with therapies. Health has been an obsession for me for the past 20 years. That has suddenly become quite valuable, and people are actually listening to me for a change. So, till now it was just another thing, and then COVID happens, and suddenly health becomes the most important thing in everyone else's life. A lot of times we've ignored our health. We think we'll be fine. You ignore little things. But now the primary occupation for most people is health.
Which is why, Aradhna, are your hotels thinking branching more into maybe, health centers or something? How are you thinking out of the box to make up for this crisis?
So what we've had to pursue in the last 4 weeks is, one, I was mentioning the people who had to be quarantined. These were people coming back from cities that were hotspots, and they had to be forcefully quarantined for 14 days, and they were asymptomatic. Now, it's really important. In a hotel environment, if you get somebody who is COVID positive, it's going to become very difficult to manage that physical space because it will just spread very quickly. So the groups of people who've come to us have all been asymptomatic. And the doctors and the nurses, of course, there's a huge sanitization process that happens when they come out of their hospitals and also when they are in our hotels, because otherwise it can impact. They might be carriers and they might impact the others. There's another kind of business that seems to be emerging. There are some companies who need to keep the business running. These are IT and technology companies, and it's called business continuity planning, BCP. So they have certain requirements of rooms, just a handful of them, so that they can have a base somewhere and they can keep working. Plus, there are people through various embassies, they got stranded in their departure or exit out of India. So they basically got stuck with us in a couple of places. There's another situation. There were some people who were stranded and had to quarantine in another hotel, maybe not a very good quality hotel. So when that 14-day period got over, but the lockdown was still on, they couldn't get home in any case. There was no flight. So we suddenly had an in-between sort of situation with lots of check-ins taking place, because they were leaving those other kinds of accommodation and they were coming and staying with us. And I'm only referring to the 30 plus hotels that are open, because 47 are closed after all. They are in states where there are curfews and you just can't run those hotels. Or maybe there are two hotels neighboring each other, lemon tree hotels. We close one and we run the other because you're not going to have full occupancy. So that's been the kind of way we've handled it so far. But it is really grim. And this point about road trips, we are hoping that once the lockdown lifts, then the first movement we expect that will take place is the road trips. And we've got hotels in 48 destinations. I think each destination is a road trip away from another destination. So we're going to try and pitch that. Maybe I can talk to Varsha too.
Done. So Varsha, yeah,
I'm going to get scooters.
Yeah.
So that is, thinking out of the box, Varsha, you mentioned road trip, which is the first thing everybody's going to be hitting ready. But there's been also a talk that some sectors which are not so badly hit, say Bombay will be the last to open up, maybe Kerala, maybe, so are you getting feelers from airlines that, that start taking bookings for certain sectors?
No, nothing. No one is risking it. And actually more than the airlines, no one wants to put money, because if flights get cancelled again, then their money is stuck. They don't want their money stuck. They want their liquidity. Why should they pay for a ticket right now when they don't know when they can travel? So it's better to do it. And everybody I'm talking to is just saying, let's do road trips. So hotels will pick up faster than the airlines. The airlines are not going to pick up for a very long time.
So what is a reassuring sign for you, Varsha, that airports are safe? I'm going to now encourage people to travel. What would make you feel, that there is safety?
Well, frankly, to be honest, I don't feel safe traveling myself right now. So I can't even recommend it to anybody. If anybody calls me, I'm going to tell them to have a double think about it and, hold off. I wouldn't want to, because the work involved after a flight is cancelled is so much more, to get the refunds done, to get the people, and then I'm holding bookings, and you have to do it case by case. You can't just pick up and say, okay, let's do 10 of the bookings together. So I'm just going to tell people to hold off right now, not to buy tickets.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Anjul, would you tell people, I think buying clothes, do you think after lockdown, would that be a priority? Because given the fact that jobs are being laid off, but people have money, or is it a feel-good factor? Do you see clients coming to you sooner rather than later?
Considering that we've been in a couture industry, so we are really banking on the Indian people to be still getting married. I mean, please keep getting married.
But very small weddings.
Please keep getting married. You may push it as much as you want, but get married. It's very important. I would like to tell everybody it's rather important to get married and look your best. You don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. Wear what you want to wear. Look your best. Have a small function, but have it. So that's our only grace that we are looking at, that ultimately when the weddings happen, even if they are small, even if they are destinations, and let's hope the hotels can come into play at that point of time and the airlines can come into play. And
go for a honeymoon.
Things, but still people will want to, maybe if it becomes smaller, we are not having 1,000 people wedding, we are having 100 people wedding, where the girls and the girl's mother and the girl's family still, or the boy's family still needs to get dressed. So we are actually banking on that idea that yes, they will. And considering that we are social animals, we need to get out. We were not built to stay inside. I did not think the cities were there for just sitting inside and having our wildlife roam around our cities. I'd rather see the wildlife in the wildlife sanctuary. Trust me today. I would not like to see it in the city. I'd rather travel and absolutely live with the pollution happily and have the marriages, have the businesses going, and let everybody be making money and the economy floating, because this is a very grim situation. And consider what has happened in China when it opened for a few days, and they say the biggest luxury brand saw the biggest sale ever of a day. Yeah, they saw the biggest sale ever. So let's hope that people come out of this frustration and feel, okay, we are going to binge buy and we are going to live our life. Let's hope. Please do not hold your money. Spend it. Let everybody grow out of it.
It's slightly politically incorrect, but very candid, Anjul. Are you wearing one of the outfits, in fact? Is it one of your creations?
I am being very true to you, but trust me, who doesn't want it? Ask Aradhna, she would want everybody to come to her hotel. Ask Namita, she would still want weddings to happen so that she can do those beautiful houses for the bride and the groom. Everybody, even Varsha would want everybody to travel. So, and even for the wellness, if the bride is not ready to go to a spa and look herself beautiful, or maybe a luxury thing is not done, how long can we stay like this?
Fair enough. How long, Namita, is my question to you.
So I don't know, Poochi. I think the one industry which is really going to take a hit on this is actually going to be the construction industry and real estate. Unfortunately, as a people in India, we are, though real estate is important for us to invest in, doing up homes is not really a priority with a lot of people. Anju still, I think clothes still takes a much higher precedent. Yeah, I feel that there is a certain strata in society which is always going to have the spending power, albeit it will be reduced. We will have to rethink our business models, we'll have to rethink our working modules, we'll have to rethink the size of the companies that we have. I have a showroom, we may have to rethink having a showroom because that's X amount of output per month. So keeping that in mind, I do think that the people are going to come back to this. But like Varsha very clearly said, nothing for 6-8 months. I don't see anything happening for the next 6 to 8 months.
But that's the case with everything. I think considering this 40 days of lockdown, even if we gradually open, it is going to take us 6 months to get back. Even if we get the vaccine, it is going to still take 6 months for it to come into play by the time everything gets
normal again. Yeah. Yes. Anju, which brings us to you. How do you keep us going for the next 6 months?
So it's interesting, Priya, but a lot of people who used to laugh at me earlier, because of my obsession with alternative therapies and all, are now paying attention to my posts, like I said. And I think over not just the 6 months, But I think the one lesson that people seem to be learning out of this is that health is very important. And then you'll see over the next decade, and this will be very relevant to the hotel industry, which has spas, you'll see that health is going to occupy a bigger and bigger space in the economy and in the economics of every, sort of country. I think health is going to, and whether it's alternative therapies, whether it's wellness, whether, it's going to be very, very relevant in everybody's lives. The older people, of course, with COVID have been very affected. But one of our posts, which was COVID tips, went viral. People went crazy about it. And it was just simple tips for what to do if you did get COVID or how to be prepared to get it. And I just think people have just seen it with a very different view now. They're looking, they're saying, okay, they're reprioritizing up their lives. I think like Nomita said, things are going to take time. Nomita said, Anjul said, things are going to take time to pick up. But there will be I think there will be a reprioritization of people's lives.
How is working from home working out for you, Aradhana, first with you? Are you missing the traffic? Are you missing the roads?
Well, I don't know about the roads and I don't know about the pollution, Anjul. But as far as the day's schedule is concerned, it is absolutely endless. One would imagine that if half our hotels are closed, would it not mean that there's not much to do? But on the contrary, there is so much requirement from a communications perspective, which is what I handle, from a sustainability perspective, which is also what I handle. And there is a lot of information that needs to go out to our guests. So in the last 35 days, I can't even tell you how long the day is. It's a bit insane. Also, when you're working remotely, you have to connect with your colleagues. Now, each person handles a different piece. So the amount of phone calls and Zoom calls that we're doing to make sure that the communication is clear amongst all of us. So someone's handling operations, someone handles finance, someone handles training. So everybody needs to know that, okay, this is how the whole business model has got redefined actually in these 45 days. And also for reopening, we have a new standard operating procedure for reopening. And that's what's occupied our time completely. Like a minute before this call, I was trying to complete a document with a colleague and it's kind of halfway. And I said, let me finish this and I'll come back to you. So the whole idea is models of business are getting redefined. And when that happens, you've got to tell your customers what to expect. I agree with what Anshu said about people's focus on health. So even from a customer lens and an employee lens, we are very concerned about what kind of hygiene, sanitization, what kind of physical space will there be in our hotel? The whole idea of maintaining social distancing. This is a word that is going to get used a few million times in our lives now, but it's a real piece of our future. It's going to be like this. And hotel services are being redefined. I'm telling you, you have to think of every inch and every bit of space about how to maintain that 6 feet of social distance. It's a pretty tough exercise to reinvent this whole SOP. And we're doing it with our colleagues and we're writing the communication for our guests. So it's a pretty busy time is all I can say.
How is it going to work out, Aradhana? Because see, flying, you can say wear hazmat suits and go in, maybe for Nomita and Anjul, do your designs virtually. But hotels, you have to physically check in. Otherwise, how does it work? And then you can't be very
Absolutely. So the person is going to have to come there for some piece of business, I'm assuming, for some work. The way they will engage with our building, that whole definition. So they have to have sanitizer and masks in the car when they arrive, which we are arranging. Right. They will have to get a body temperature check done when they arrive. It's already happening with us since early March. Forget about when it hit India. We started earlier. So body temperature checks when you arrive, sanitization, masks. There is, we are removing a lot of the physical amenities in the room. Not everything, but certain things we're removing, like a scribbling pad or an extra piece of some maybe decor or something. We're just removing it from there. So they are not touching.
Not the welcome chocolates.
No. The food and the toiletries are there. But the idea is we'll have to make sure that everything in that room gets turned around. So the way we do our housekeeping process, when one guest will check out, everything will come out of that room, not just the way we would do it earlier, that you just change the linen and towels and food amenities. But here you'll have to bring everything out and sanitize the whole thing and go back in. Also the public spaces of hotels. This is a very important thing. So swimming pools are not allowed to operate right now. Gyms are not allowed to operate. By government order, they are closed. And they will remain closed for a few months, in fact. but in the lobby, in the coffee shop, we were doing demonstrations and role plays of how the coffee shop layout will be. Not we, but the guys who were in the hotel. And they were sending us photographs, and it's such a dismal little view of the reduced number of tables. And if it's a 4-seater table, you have 2 chairs at diagonals this way. And when you look at the restaurant from a long shot like that, it just looks so sad. Like, hey, what happened to my coffee shop? That kind of thing. But there is no choice. We have to do service in this manner because our goal is that nobody should contract it on our premises. That is our goal. But of course, people are coming from different places, so we don't know. Another thing is we are taking a declaration from guests, and this is also sort of told to us by the government, of where have they been the last 20 days and about their physical health. So if someone has a cough, cold, do you have a precondition of diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever it is.
That's tough. But airlines will be doing the same, I think, in terms of checking in terms of this thing. Would you be happy or say if there was an app which said you're safe to travel? Do you see that happening? We've heard about the Arogya Setu app. If everybody has it, that could be an added passport, so to speak, to travel.
Yes, it will be. And what's going to be a problem is that, they're going to have to leave the middle seat empty on all flights in like a 3 configuration, which is going to be a real bummer for the airlines. It's going to cost them because they're going down in their cost of running an airline is very high. So for them to leave like about 70 seats empty every flight is going to be crazy. But yes, there is a lot of contact even when you check in. You can do an online check-in, but you have to hand over your bags. There has to be people there. An app, I don't know how an app is going to help. And then eventually you're in a tube, in an aircraft. Bacteria is floating around everywhere.
Absolutely.
So safety element of an aircraft is never going to be there.
Yes.
Anjul, how are you going to secure your workplace? Are you also going to, because you have workers, you are in contact with people from all over, more Namita than you, but there's definitely people aana jana to hai. And what about your fashion shows? How do you see that happening?
The problem, as you rightly said, becomes a client. How do you convince client that the environment where you are coming in to shop is absolutely comfortable for you, and it is absolutely, there is a contact. A person who wants to buy an outfit has to try the outfit. You can't expect the same outfit to be tried by somebody else without sanitizing it, without completely clearing it out. How do you do it? How can you dry clean a couture apparel 3 to 4 times? You can't do it. You'll probably ruin the whole outfit. So we need to actually now figure out a way where you can, sanitize the outfit, where you can clean the outfit and have it absolutely inspection free, where the other person can try. So, and obviously it'll become more appointment based, where it'll be one appointment, the whole office is getting sanitized before the appointment comes in. You have to make sure you have to check temperatures of the people walking in, temperature of the staff walking in, everything, and written there on the door. We are already planning on those things when it comes to our studio. But as Namita rightly said, the biggest problem which our industry is going to face is the rents. Having a standalone store is a very huge deterrent here. So this is where we will all actually, whichever industry we may be in, we'll have to look at the government. Whatever we may be doing to look after our workers, give them all the tips, give them the masks to wear, give them PPE kits when they are traveling, or whatever we may do, sanitize the office. But at the end of the craftsmen, all of the jobs, we would expect something coming in from the government side, where we are still paying our rent, we are still paying.
Okay, Anjul, I'm running out of time, so I'll just give the last word to Namita. And what are you going to do to make your workplace safe? What are you envisaging once lockdown opens up?
So we're actually looking at the possibility of using spring sanitizer, which is the way that they're sanitizing the bus stops and outdoor, because our equipment is not small. We have chairs and beds which are 6 feet, we have sofas which are 2 feet, and we have multiple people working on it, the carpenter, the polisher, the upholster. So I can't go, we are thinking of doing a stage by stage sanitization where when it is also, once it is manufactured, maybe leave it for a couple of days and then let the other team work on it, maybe sanitize it. So we're going to have to figure it out. But even once it is done and it is packed and it is ready to go to the client, even that, sending it to the client, the transporting it there, keeping it, I mean, it's all something that there is still a lot that needs to be done, still a lot that needs to be thought of. I think what is actually going to happen is we're all going to need to have a lot of patience. We're going to have to need to take a step back. And like I have said time and time again, and I've been saying this to a lot of friends, is this is a time that we have got actually as knee down time. Guys, use this time, step back from what we're doing. Of course, we all have to get back into our work, but we all need to take this time to think of how we are going to be planning not just the next 6 months, but the next 6 years, 10 years, 15 years. This is a pandemic of now. We don't know. There may be a recurrence. People are saying that you can have the COVID twice over and 3 times over. So it's not going away, guys. So we've got to physically actually take out time to plan this strategically. Let's not jump the gun and let's not start running. Let's first walk before we can run.
Wow, that's a good note to end on. Thank you to all of you for taking time out from your very busy virtual life and joining me on this. And let's hope we meet again soon. Actually, in a coffee shop, Aradhana.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. Lemon Tree.
So, Lemon Tree. And Varsha can do our travel, and Anju can get us outfits, and Namita can do the decor. So we all set, and Anju can give us tips. Thank you so much, all of you, and that's it from us. Thank you for watching this show. And for more such videos, do tune into the NewsX YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.